Hello everyone, I hope everyone are doing fine. So today's our topic is inheritance. So let us see what are we going to learn in today's class. We are going to learn what is inheritance, importance of inheritance, types of inheritance, and we'll also be seeing the codes of all the types of inheritance, and we'll also see an introduction to files topic. Okay, so these are the course outcomes, and let us jump into the topic. What is inheritance? Inheritance is the capability of one class to derive or inherit the properties from another class. Inheritance is nothing but deriving the properties of another class into a child class. So let me make it clear now here. For example, if we are having two classes as shown here, parent class. Parent class is nothing but, first let us assume we have created a class, and let us assume the class as parent class, and let us create one more class and let us name it as child class. Okay, so for example, if you have made 2 to 3 functions inside a parent class and you want to access them inside the child class, so what you're going to do is, once you inherit the parent class into child class, then you can use all the functions and all the things which are inside the parent class. Okay, so that is where inheritance is used. Okay, so let us read it. The class from which the properties and functionalities are utilized is called parent class. Okay, so the initial class or the parent class which contains the methods which are to be used inside another class are is known as parent class, and child class is nothing but which tries to derive the properties of the parent class is known as child class. Okay, and let us see the syntaxes for inheritance. In the figure above, classes are represented as boxes. Classes are represented boxes, right? And the inheritance relationship is represented by an arrow pointing from derived class, that is nothing but child class. Child class is also known as derived class, and parent class is also known as base class. Okay, so the extends keyword denotes that child class is inherited or derived from parent class. Okay, so an arrow is drawn here and extends, that is nothing but child class is extending parent class. Okay, and it is derived. Okay, so this is the general syntax, that is class parent. We have seen the syntaxes of classes and objects in our previous module, right? So we know how to create a class, how to create an object, right? So this is the syntax class, and this is the child class. Hash is nothing but it is the comment, and class child, and inside the parentheses you need to write the parent class name in order to inherit. Okay, so no need to worry about the syntaxes. We will be writing the code, so you guys will be cleared with that one. And let us see the importance of inheritance. It represents the real world relationships well. Okay, so that is nothing but deriving one class properties into another class. Okay, and it provides reusability of a code. And for example, if you have written some important piece of code in the parent class and you don't want to write the code again while using in the child class, so what you're going to do, just inherit the parent class and use the properties directly instead of writing the code once again. Okay, it is transitive in nature, which means if the class B inherits from another class A, then all the subclasses of B would automatically inherit from class A. Okay, so it is transitive, that is nothing but if you have inherited 3 to 4 classes into a class named B and it is inheriting class A, all the classes which are inherited previously are directly come into the new class. Okay, so this is a very useful oops concept in Python. Okay, and these are the types of inheritance now, that is single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and multi-path inheritance. Okay, so let us see what is a single inheritance, that is also known as simple inheritance. Simple inheritance is nothing but single inheritance enables a derived class to inherit properties from a single parent class. Okay, so only one parent class will be there, only one child class will be there, and child class tries to extend the parent class. That is nothing but it is trying to access the properties of parent class. Okay, so this is the syntax, class and the parent name and the stuff which we need to write inside the class. Okay, and this one is child class, and inside the parenthesis we need to write the parent name, that is parent, and child class. Okay, so now let us see the code of simple inheritance. So I have already made the files of Python. So first let us see the simple inheritance program, and let us make a class A first, class A, and let us write the constructor for this one, define init and self. Let us take one more thing, that is x. and self dot x equal to x, and let us create a function. Define function 1. Let us output self print hello. I hope you guys are clear with why we are writing self here, right? So when we try to create an object, and when we try to call these methods or these constructors, in the place of self, the object name will come. Okay, so that's why we'll be writing self here. And let us create another class B. And what is the syntax for single inheritance? In the child class, just open the parenthesis and write the parent class name. And here the parent, what is the parent class? A. Okay, just write A here. Let us create constructor for this one as well. Self comma. Since we are inheriting, we should write all the parameters which are present in the parent class, self comma x, right? And let us take one more, x1. X1 belongs to the child class, and in order to inherit the parameters which are present inside the connector, what we're going to do is, there is a syntax which you need to follow, that is a dot underscore underscore init and write self comma x. Okay, so that is nothing but parent class name dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore and write the exact same thing. Okay, and so we have written x1 extra here, right? Self dot x1 equal to x1. We have instantiated this one as well. Okay, and let us create a method define function 2. Let us try to print function of second class. Okay, instead of second, let us write child class, and let us remove hello here. Function of parent class, and what we're going to do is, let us try to create an object for the base class, that is nothing but child class. obj1 equal to b, and we should have passed the x and x1 values now. Let us pass 10 comma 20, and let us write obj1 dot function 1, let us access dot function 2. Now let us save it and let us try to run this one. There you go, function of parent class, function of child class. So what is happening here is, we have created an object. We have created an object for the B class. What is the B class? It is a child class. Or what is it? It is a derived class. So we have created an object for the derived class, but we are accessing the function which is present in the parent class. So this is the use of inheritance. All right, so I hope you guys got it, what is the use of inheritance and how to use single inheritance. Okay, so by using the same object, we are accessing the things present in the parent class as well as the base class. Okay, sorry, derived class. Okay, and do not try, if you create an object for a class, that is a parent class, and if you want to access the functions or the stuff present in the child class, it is not possible. Okay, you need to create an object for the child class. So in order to use the things present in the parent class as well as the child class. Okay, so this is single inheritance, and now let us see multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is nothing but more than one parents are there for single child. Okay, when a class can be derived from one or more than base class, then this type of inheritance is called as multiple inheritance. So here is a diagram, a and b. Here a and b are parents and c is a child. Okay, so a is pointing to c, b is pointing to c. There is nothing but, for example, if you are having a, b, c classes as shown here, so class a, class b, and pass is nothing but null statement, right? I hope you guys know that one at this point. Okay, so next, class a, class b, and class c in the parenthesis, write a comma b. That is nothing but it is inheriting both the classes, that is a and b. Okay, so now let us see the code of multiple inheritance. Okay, so let us create class. Let's write parent1. Let's create constructor for this one, self. Let us just print directly in the constructor. Let's write parent1. Okay, now let us create class parent2 and let us write define init. Okay, this is autocorrect, this is not necessary, and let us print parent2. And what you're gonna do is, let us create child class child, and inherit both the parents parent2. And let us create constructor for this one, put self, and let us try to inherit the constructors of both the parents, that is parent1 dot init, parent2 dot init. Okay, so that's it. So let us create an object, object1 equal to, let us create an object for child, and now let's run it. Okay, so we have missed self here. Since we are calling the constructor of another class, we need to pass self. Yes, parent1, parent2. So what is happening here is, so here we have created two classes, parent1 and parent2, and we have created a constructor, and I just put a print statement inside the constructor. And here what is happening is, I have created the child class, and there are two parents, that is the child class is trying to inherit. I have created the constructor for this one, and I'm inheriting the constructors of the both the parents class, okay, directly inside the constructor of the child class. So I have created object. Once I create an object, it will go inside this class, it will go to the constructor of this one, and it will execute these two statements. Okay, so first it will execute this statement, that is, it is calling the constructor of the parent1, and it will just print this one, and after that it is calling the parent2 constructor. It will go here, it will execute. So we are getting the output as parent1 and parent2. Okay, so I hope you guys understood what is multiple inheritance. Okay, so now let us see what is the next type. Now we are having multi-level inheritance. Multi-level is nothing but, so for example, A, B, C, three classes are there, and class A is there, and class B is inheriting A. That is nothing but, here class B is a child class A is a parent class, and B is trying to access the class A. Okay, and there is a one more class C, it is trying to access the content of class B. Okay, so now what is the role of B? B has become parent now, and C has become child. Okay, so I hope you guys understood what is multi-level inheritance. Let us also see the code for this one. Okay, let us also see the diagram first. Base class, intermediary class, that is nothing but B is inside the between A and C, right? So it is known as intermediary class, and C is purely derived class, that is nothing but it is the last derived class. Okay, so let's see the code for this one. Multi-level, let us take class A, let's create a constructor self, and let us just a print statement first. Class A, just put anything inside, but then you can put anything. Okay, let us put class B and A, that is nothing but class B. B is the child class here, and A is the parent class. Okay, and let us put the constructor self. Now let us try to access the constructor of the parent class, that is class A dot init, and let us print class B. Okay, now let us create one more class, that is class C, and it is trying to access class B. There is nothing but what is happening. Let me complete the code, and I will explain you what is happening here. Okay, init self B dot init class C. Now let us create an object for class C. Object1, okay, object1 equal to C. Now let me run it. Okay, so it seems we have forgot this self once again. Let us try to run it. Yes. So let me explain you what is happening here. So first we have created class A and we have created the constructor here. Okay, inside the constructor I just put a print statement that is class A and one more class B, and here the A is being inherited into B. Okay, so now B is a child class, A is a parent class. Okay, so I have created a constructor and I tried to inherit the constructor of the class A, and I also put as just a print statement that is class B. And what we are doing next is we have created class C and we are trying to inherit class B into class C. So what is the role of B now? B is a parent now and C is a child now. And I have created the constructor and I'm trying to access the constructor of class B, that is the parent constructor, and I also put a print statement here. Okay, so what is happening here is I have created an object for C. So when I create an object for C, the constructor is evaluated automatically, that is it is calling the constructor of the class B, and once it calls the constructor of the class B, automatically the constructor of class A is called. Okay, so it will go here and it will execute class A. Okay, and after that one what is happening is it will print class B. Okay, it has called the constructor of class A, it has successfully printed class A, and after that one it will print this statement. Okay, and now lastly it will print class C. Okay, so this is multi-level inheritance. I hope you guys understood. Okay, and next one is multipath inheritance. So multipath is when a class is derived from two or more classes which are derived from the same base class, then such type of inheritance is called multipath inheritance. Okay, so here class A is there, and A is acting as a parent for B and C, and B and C are acting as a parent for D. Okay, here class D is derived from classes B and C, which are derived from the same base class A. Okay, so A is the main the first class, and A is acting as a parent for B to C, B and C, and D is acting as parent for sorry, B and C are acting as a parents for class D. Okay, so now let us try to write the code for multipath inheritance. Okay, so let us open Visual Studio Code. Let us create a new file, multipath inheritance.py. So let us create a class A. We'll also create the constructor. Let us just write hello. These are just autocorrects from Visual Studio Code. Do not bother. Let us create class B. Let's create the constructor as well. Define it. Self, let us write one more print statement. Second class. Now here A write class C implements A, and let us also inherit the constructor, so that is nothing but A.init, and write self here. Let's write the constructor. Let me write the code first, and after that I will explain you what is happening here. Okay, print third class, and now class D, it will have B comma C. Let's put self here, and let us try now. B.init, also C.init. Let us print fourth class. So what is happening now? Let us create an object for class D. obj1 equal to d, and let us try to run this. Okay, so once again we forgot self, right? Okay, so let me explain you what is happening here. So we have created a class A, that is the parent class. In the constructor we have written a print statement. Okay, so next we are creating a class B which is having a parent A. Okay, and the same thing, we have created the constructor and we are trying to inherit the class A, the constructor of class A, and one more print statement. And class C similarly having class A as a parent, the same thing. And after that one, class D, and class D is coming from B comma C. Okay, so B comma C are already derived classes from A, and now they are acting as a parent for class D. Okay, so this is known as multipath inheritance. Okay, first we have created class A, and A is acting as a parent for both B and C, and we are creating the fourth class D, and the parents of D are B comma C. Okay, so what is happening here is I have created an object for class D, and firstly this statement will be executed b dot init. Okay, and it will go to here, the constructor of class B. What is happening here, it is calling the constructor of class A. So first initially hello is being printed. Okay, and after that one obviously this will be printed, second class. Okay, and next this will be called c dot init. It will go here, it will again call the constructor of class A, that is nothing but hello. Hello, second class, hello. And after that one, this will be printed, third class. And finally, this will be printed, print fourth class. Okay, so this is multipath inheritance. So these are the different types of inheritance. So let us see. We have seen everything in the inheritance, that is the types of inheritance, importance of inheritance, and what is inheritance, etc. Right? So let us see what is a file now. So file handling mechanism is a separate module in our topic. So let us try to read the content which is present in the PPT. So file handling is an important part of any web application. Python has several functions for creating, reading, updating, and deleting files. So let me explain you what is a file actually. So files can be of two types, that is a text file or a binary file. Okay, so text file is nothing but the normal text document which is present in our systems and mobiles, and binary files is text files contains data in the readable format for humans, that is nothing but numeric alphabets or numeric numbers or special symbols, right? And binary is totally in the machine level language, that is the only can be understand by the computer. Okay, so these are the two types of files. Okay, so files, let us see file handling. The key function for working with the files Python is open function. So in order to open a file, we need to use the open function in Python. Okay, so we'll be, don't worry if you guys are not understanding, we'll be seeing this in the next module, that is I'm just giving the intro to the files here. We'll be seeing very clearly in the next module. Okay, so there are 4 different methods for opening a file, that is R mode. R mode is nothing but just for reading. Okay, so if you do not want to modify or change anything in the file content, then you need to open the file in read mode. And if you want to open and you also want to modify the things, then you need to have append method. And if you want just to modify the things, just write w. Okay, w method you need to choose, that is write method. And last one is X, that is create method. It will create the specified file, and if the file with the same name exists already, it will return an error. Okay, so first let us see reading a file. So there are 3 ways to read data from a text file, that is read, read line, read lines method. Okay, so read and file object, that is nothing but the file name dot read, will fetch the whole data which is present inside the text. Okay, and next to read line method. Okay, read line is nothing but reads a line from the file, returns in the form of a string. Okay, for specified n, reads at most n bytes. If you provide the n value here, that is the number of bytes, then it will provide the total, the string which consists of the n size that is which is provided inside the bytes. Okay, read lines reads all the lines and returns them as each line in string element. So for example, if you are having 10 lines of text inside a text file, and if you want to have them in separate lines in your output, then you need to use the read lines method. Okay, so we'll be seeing the writing to file and the codes of reading from file and opening the file in the next module. Okay, and if you guys have any kind of doubts, try to reach us. We will be helping you. Okay, and that's it from my side.